Welcome back for another video. I'm Eharbad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. This is episode 18 in the free-to-play challenge series, and it's been about 48 hours since I recorded the shard pulls that left us rather disheartened and disappointed. I've actually managed to pick up 2 more ancient shards, and the reality is the estimated value for either a summon rush or a champion chase on ancient shards is quite low. We can actually top up if we need to in mystery shards. These will be the high value items, the voids and the sacreds. In terms of if we do get the fragment fusion, we want to go after it, we should be able to complete it through void shards, sacred shards and mystery shards. So I'm actually going to pull these 2 ancient shards, see what we get. Hopefully we'll get an epic, but there's 1 rare already. Come on, epic, decent epic. No, it's a rare. And it's a dupe, a raider again. So our bad luck on the ancient shards does continue. That's actually, I don't know how many rares in a row. I know the last 10 pull was all rares, so pretty disappointing, but that is the way it seems to be on this account. So first things first, let's jump into the photos and do the recap of the last 48 hours. And then we need to have a bit of a conversation about the fact that the scheduled PRCVC that we were expecting to start on Tuesday is no more. The raid digest that came, I think they published it on Friday, basically said that there isn't going to be one, which is definitely a bit of a frustration for us. Actually, I'll go into it right now. So I actually had quite a few gold medals ready to upgrade my Great Hall. I don't really want to wait 2 weeks, so I might end up using these sooner than that. Then equally, I had 8 legendary tomes, 28 epic tomes, and currently 4 rare tomes, although I'm going to buy the 5 from the clan shop, which actually we can do that right now. And so, it's kind of frustrating that we don't get to get the maximum return on these resources that we've been saving up. Having that PR CVC being postponed is quite frustrating. And in fact, in addition to that, I had Forge stuff ready to go, 31 of the 4 to 5 star and even 6 of the 5 to 6 star on the resilience, and then a perception 26 there. So I think what I probably should do is actually craft these, and maybe we'll do that after the photos. So let's jump into the photos, get a recap of what we've done over the last 48 hours. We'll then forge the gear, and we'll talk about what we're going to do over the next week or 2. We've got 2x sacreds in 2 weeks' time, so we need to figure out a way of maximizing our development that we can do on the account, given that the champions we pulled, basically. So first things first, on the Friday evening, we had the Fire Night tournament ongoing. We had about 24 hours. Well, we had less than that. We had about 14 hours, I think, remaining on the Fire Night tournament after the shard pulls themselves. And basically, I managed to get this dungeon mission done, coinciding with the regen event on Fire Night. I did actually follow that up by farming quite a bit overnight, 75 runs, so about 1,000 energy ballpark, 14 energy per run. Unfortunately, I didn't get any usable gear from it, which is actually kind of frustrating given the quality of gear we've currently got on the account. I was hoping to get at least 1 decent 5-star set of regen, given that we had triple regen ongoing. It wasn't to be. Don't have a usable set of regen even now, and I didn't actually get any even half decent broken pieces either. I think I got one crit damage weapon that's pretty decent, but other than that, nothing really, which is kind of disappointing from that many runs. But it reaffirms that really anything less than stage 16, it just isn't worth it unless it's Spider stage 10. I think that's really the case, and we will be able to progress, I think, to Fire Night 16 once we 6-star Haikatoon and potentially Armiger. I think at that point this composition would be able to farm Fire Knight 16, maybe even push a bit further. But we'll kind of have to see how it goes. On the Saturday morning, I put the Nari to use and managed to get a 3-star clear on stage 2 Dwarf with the extra rares that we had in Perforator and Boltsmith. Not really a composition that's going to take us very far in Faction Wars, but at least managed to get us a couple of extra stars. Also, I included this screenshot simply because of the 5-star speed glyph. It's nice to get one of those on the account. I haven't used it yet. Again, I would prefer to use that during CVC for the points, but, maybe we'll use it sooner if we get a piece of gear that I feel would justify the use of it. We'll hang on to it for the time being and kind of just play it by ear. But the reason I used Aethel solo even here was I had a mission to complete a stage without losing a champion, and the only way I could do that effectively without wasting keys on a lower stage was to clear Sacred Order boss stage 14 as a solo clear. The reason I did that, the boss stage, it's the highest stage I can clear. Stage 15 is actually kind of a little bit too difficult right now, and it gives me the best odds at getting the top end forge materials and the highest glyphs. That overnight Fire Knight farming, it might not have netted me any gear, but it did get me 60 gems in finishing 7th. Ordinarily, I'd say it's only worth doing these tournaments if you're going to maximize the side rewards and get that epic tome and the 40 gems at 2050. However, in this instance, I had that mission to do, and we didn't have a champion training ongoing, and I thought there was a reasonable probability of getting a decent regen set, given that we had the triple regen event. It didn't pan out, but I think it was the right call to try, basically. So we tried, and we failed, much like the 2x Ancients. Got a little bit more mission progress once the Spider tournament begun. We were in there, farming stage 10, and managed to get one of these 5-star banners to drop. In terms of progressing any further in the missions, we have to wait until the champion training begins tomorrow. At that point, we can ascend our 4th champion to level 6. Will coincide with us ranking up a 5th champion to 6-star. I was, in fact, back in the Magic Keep on Saturday evening, and throwing out the Nari once more, who I actually decided to ascend to 3 stars and unlock his passive, which actually is pretty good for Magic Keep. It's quite a niche use, but here on this channel, we try, when given lemons, to try and make lemonade. So yeah, we got Nari in there, 3 stars ended. I slapped a little bit of gear on him, nothing too great. Didn't even put any levels in him, as you can see. So he's level 5 at this point. He was level 1 when you saw him earlier in the faction crypt. Anyway, I managed to get my new fastest clear on stage 15. Then I managed to go and clear stage 16. And then I went and cleared stage 17. He's slowly leveling up here, now level 7. He's getting pretty strong. And then I also cleared stage 18. This was the highest stage I could clear. Essentially, I've got Gembo and Nari here working together to steal the buffs as fast as possible from the boss. But at stage 18, they were beginning, their survivability just wasn't high enough. So they were beginning to take quite high damage from the boss's regular attacks, even once she'd been stripped of her buffs. So essentially, couldn't quite progress to stage 19 or 20 until I get a few more levels into Nari and potentially put some slightly better gear on Gembo. I think eventually we will be able to do stage 19 and 20, maybe in a week or so, once we've got a few more levels into Nari and maybe got a bit lucky with some gear. After farming the Magic Keep, I was back in the Dwarf faction crypt, managed to clear stage 6. Really, it's just an Avir Nari duo. I did try the boss stage on stage 7, and I was very close to being able to beat it. Got the boss down to about 10%. If I'd wasted some silver doing re-gears. I reckon I probably could have beaten it, and maybe it's something I'll do next time we have Dwarf open on the faction crypt. I think once you got a few more levels in Nari, it will be doable. And then one of the last things I did yesterday evening was attempt Doom Tower. I managed to clear all the waves pretty straightforward. There was nothing difficult in the first 10 floors on the wave side. Got to Bommel, wasn't sure whether it would work or not. I did throw Nari in. Actually, Nari did nothing. It was a waste of a slot. But we did get through. Aethel was the last one alive. Kel Surprise. I mean, it's always Aethel, right? In that res build, able to resist Bomble's activities. And basically, just scraped through. I think we're going to struggle on the higher floors of Bommel because we don't have any way of dealing with the bombs, and all of our champions are magic. So we're going to have a bit of a problem. I was hoping to get some good regen gear to give us the A solution, but it didn't happen. Right, so we'll see. Once we get to Bommel 50, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll try, right? That's all we can do. And then the last thing I did on the Saturday evening was just go and farm a little bit of Arcane Keep. I'm trying to get some more of these potions ready. I do feel that we're in the position where we're going to have to try and build quite a number of champions over the next week or two, and that's going to involve us doing quite a lot of ascensions. We also have missions coming up in stage 4 of the Arbiter missions that require quite a few potions. So I had a little bit of extra energy, and I just decided it would be good to use that in the Arcane Keep and the Magic Keep. So actually do a bit of keep farming for once. And then this morning, the first thing I decided to do was Doom Tower. I went in and cleared Secret Room 1, which was just rare champions, I believe, only. Aethel pretty much able to hard carry that without too many issues. Also managed to clear Secret Room 2, which was HP champions. Really miscreated monster there, hard carrying. But that doesn't mean we're beginning to get a few more fragments of Archmage. Archmage is a really good champion. If we can get him, without too much delay, that would be great. We were somewhat stymied in the second cycle of Doom Tower, the first full cycle we had, because we just didn't have enough champions to clear more of the secret rooms. That was one of the drawbacks of having saved all the shards for the 2x Ancients, was that I did sacrifice a little bit of advancement in some areas along the way, but with the intention that it would be worth it in the long run. And I think from a probability perspective, it was still the right call, but it was just unfortunate that it didn't pan out for us. I was then back in the Arcane Keep doing stage 18 farming. Stage 19 was just too slow and didn't look consistent. I did try and clear stage 20, but it just wasn't to be. Anyway, I just thought, let's put one energy refill in. I do, on the Sunday, have my tag team Arena Bazaar energy bonanza, so I get the extra 300 energy each week on a Sunday. So it's a good time to use that energy in some of the areas where we maybe don't tend to do it so much on a day-to-day basis, but we still need these potions. Really critical for us to be able to ascend the champions. I then, with Night Revenant open today, went back in and tried that stage 13 one more time, and today I was able to clear it. Basically, I thought, we have the Doom Priest. Maybe Doom Priest will live and be able to cleanse the provoke and the heal reduction on the second wave. It didn't actually pan out that way. Everyone died, and it was only miscreated monster. But I was actually able to get through it. The miscreated monster, since the last time we were there, the build has improved a little bit more, slightly more survivability. Now 6-star ascended. So there's been marginal gains. And now Miscreated was strong enough to overcome stage 13. I did try stage 14 and it didn't work. We just took too much damage from the poisons and occasional HP burn, and then getting True Fear every few turns. It wasn't working. But I know that on late stage Faction Wars, that is a boss that works quite well as a candidate for a resistance build. I took the decision to tweak my miscreated build to get enough resistance to be able to overcome the boss, or at least that was the idea. I was getting reasonably far through the boss the first time I tried it without resistance, and I felt that having that res would lead to success, basically. At the same token, being day 2 of Doom Tower, I'd got to Borgoth, and I'd also given Borgoth an attempt and realised that if I'd had resistance on Miscreated, then I probably would be able to get past the Scarab King as well. So I basically jumped onto Hell Hades, Stages tool, checked the accuracy of both bosses, realised I needed about 200 res to achieve both stages, jumped in to the game and basically slapped a res chest and then a shield with a double res roll. That was enough to get the 200 resistance. I lose 10k HP, so it's not something I want to keep in the medium term, but as a short-term switch, then it seemed like a reasonable proposition. I also lose quite a bit of crit rate. Like I said, it's not something I'm going to keep on Miscreated long-term, but as a short-term gap solution to 2 pieces of content, it seemed like a sensible thing to do. The res chest I rolled up today as part of the artifact enhancement event that's ongoing. I had hoped that we'd end up with better rolls than we got, but it's the best res chest that I have on the account, so I rolled it to 16 anyway. It will be useful, even though the substats are pretty poor. And suffice to say, we got the clear. Stage 14 is done. That is another 14 clear. We've cleared on Sacred Order and we cleared Night Revenant now. Moreover, it worked. We also cleared Scarab King floor 20. It may have taken 261 turns and 13 minutes of full auto, but it got there. Basically, I had Aethel here to clear the waves, Hycatoon just for a speed lead, and then it was a Miscreated solo. I think in retrospect, Aethel, because Aethel's in a res build, didn't actually die fast enough against the boss, which caused us to take more damage than we would otherwise. If we'd had someone in a destroy set, at least reduce the shield on Scarab, it would have made for an easier clear for Miscreated. I did consider trying to put Miscreated in a destroy set, but I wouldn't have got the stats I would have wanted in destroy plus the 200 res. It would have been a build too far at the moment. So this is what I went for floor 20. Again, if we do get past Bommel 50 and we have to do a higher level Scarab King, we're probably going to need a slightly different solution to this. But, you know, it worked, and that's all we can really do is try and beat the content in front of us and worry about the harder stuff when we get there, if we get there. I then went back in, did a little bit of backfill, 3-starred Night Revenant Stage 3, and 3-starred Stage 4, and finally 3-starred Stage 5, and that ultimately ended my keys. If we look at Night Revenant faction crypts, I reckon we could probably 3-star Stage 6 next time it's open. I think we'll struggle to get the 3 stars beyond there, but we'll definitely give it a go as we put more levels into the supporting cast that we actually want to keep, particularly Doom Priest is going to ultimately be a 6-star. We'll definitely be going to 5-star pretty soon, and most likely will end up being a 6-star before too long. With that, you know, I don't know how far we can go with basically Miscreated and Doom Priest as a duo. I'd like to get to some of these later stages, you know, start to get those 6-star glyphs would be good. And obviously the higher up you go, the better forge materials you get. So there's a lot of advantage to progressing further. I'm going to try and get a few more stars in Dark Elf Crypt today. We're at 199 stars, which isn't not too bad. Like, again, given that we only got those ancients summoned 2 days ago, I think we're progressing reasonably well on this. I do expect the number of stars to accelerate over the next 2 weeks as we develop more champions. So we do have confirmation that there's a champion training tournament starting tomorrow. I had been expecting that it would either start today, tomorrow, or on Tuesday. That's usually we don't get a longer gap than that between champion training events, if you will. The last 2 champion trainings have both been event types. So it's kind of, we were due a tournament variety. Benefit of the tournament variety is the books do count in champion training tournament towards points. So even though we're not going to be getting CVC points for our books, we are going to have to invest some of those to get the progression we want over the next 2 weeks. We just simply can't wait for CVC to do everything. It would be too much of an impediment to the advancement on the account. On the Tag Arena tournament, I did manage to clear all the side rewards and get 125 energy. I'll be using that once the champion training drops tomorrow. I think we should forge these perception pieces. I do have quite a number of rank and rarity charms, but I'm going to be saving those exclusively for when we're in a position to forge 5 and 6 star. I think it would be a waste on anything less. But let's at least just craft 20 pieces and hope we get something decent. Not mad, let's just click it. There's no point waiting. Accuracy sub, very nice, and res actually pretty good. Accuracy again, no speed is kind of disappointing. We really need speed on some of them. Defense percent, 4 star, not great. So in general, for the 4 and 5 star pieces, I would prefer HP percent as a main. Generally, there's more champions you can use those on. It's more useful for HP tuning in faction wars when you're doing budget builds. There are not that many champions until they're kind of like 6 star that really benefit from defense percent, purely because of low base defenses before they are 6 star. So this is more difficult to use because obviously if you have a 6 star champion, you're not likely to use the 4 star gear on them. No speed there. Defense percent main. Crit rate and attack, 5 star, not bad. Again, no speed. Speed boots, but only 4 star. Defense percent in boots, again, it's just not a piece you're going to use. By the time you're in a position to use defense percent or HP percent boots, you're not going to be putting a 4 star piece on them. So let's just click again. Shield, that's nice. Accuracy and speed, only a 4 star, but still not bad. That's pretty good. I'm intending on using quite a lot of the 4 star perception stuff on my faction war champions. Speed and crit rate, flat defense as a chest, not great. Accuracy, nice. Thing there. All defensive stats. If we do, I don't know if we'll ever roll it to 12, but if we did, we'd be hoping for speed, to be honest. Attack percent, 5 star, not awful, but not great. Again, no speed as a sub. Oh, there's not a lot of speed here, is there? Anyway, it is what it is. And then I'm going to leave those last pieces because I don't want to go too low on the epic, because once we get some legendary, I'd rather be forging the 5 to 6 star. So I need to not use up all of my epic materials. Likewise here, I reckon we do 20 of the 4 to 5 star. Hope we get some decent pieces. Like I said, HP percent with speed would have been ideal. Defense percent not too bad, but particularly on a 5 star piece, that could be actually quite nice. That's all right for faction wars. That we sold. And the rest of these, not great, to be honest. But, you know, we need to get gear anyway. Let's see what we got here. Nothing. That's a really nice piece. 5 star legendary. 2 defensive stats with speed. Very nice overall. Crit damage, not the end of the world at this point in the game. I'm more likely to have crit rate gloves. So not terrible either. Thing there. Defense percent as the main. HP percent, but no speed. Crit rate. Oh, if this had been a 5 star, this would have been really nice. Anyway, not too bad. I think we've also got some Guardian. I'll craft the 20 pieces here as well. Here we just want speed and HP percent, really. 5 star pieces. Not great. And the 5-star piece here. Not much. We're really not getting much speed, are we? But oh well. I'll go through those properly and sell, roll up to 8 what I think has potential, and then sell the rest. Trying to get through some of this artifact enhancement event. Managed 1,500 points with having used quite a lot of my silver, actually, to be honest. Probably used about 7.5 million today, I'd say. And only got 1,500 points for it, which is kind of disappointing. I rolled up a couple of pieces to 16 and they were so expensive. I think that res chest cost about 2.5 million just by itself. That was kind of disappointing, but you know, it is what it is. I'm pretty happy with the progress I've managed to make in the last 48 hours. I'm in a good position to be pushing the account on once the champion training drops. In terms of what we're going to prioritize on, essentially, I think Haikatoon is a strong candidate. Jamasa is a very strong candidate to be 6-starred, so these two will probably be 2 champions I do 6-star. Armiger in the long run, I will. Doom Priest in the long run, I will. And I think War Maiden, I'm definitely going to take to 5-star now. I didn't get a better drop defense champion. So I think War Maiden to 5-star, Doom Priest to 5-star, Jamasa and Haikatoon to 6-star, and I'll keep Armiger at 5-star. So I think that's pretty much my plan. And then beyond that, we're actually, again, this was meant to be for CBC, but foiled. Essentially, Chronum's actually going to be my next 6-star, along with Jamasa and Haikatoon. So I'm going to try and get 3 6-stars during the champion training. You might ask, why haven't I pulled Chronum now? Because we have a champion chase ongoing. We do. I won't get any additional rewards for pulling him now. And I thought, well, why don't I wait a day or two, see if we end up getting a Hero's Path midweek that maybe has a champion summoning element to it, a champion chase element to it. Who knows? I will have to summon him latest Tuesday. I think I can hold out till Tuesday. So what I'll probably end up doing is buy Clan Boss reset on the Monday. If we don't see any events coming for the Tuesday that could contain a benefit for me pulling him then, well, then I'll pull him tomorrow evening and kind of get leveling and try and get him to be 6-starred. Ideally, during the next champion training that starts tomorrow, I want to end up with 3 more 6-stars. And I think that's really going to drive the account progression, is those 3 new 6-stars. Right, there we go. That is that as a video. I hope it's been interesting. You know, we're managing to find ways of progressing. And I think now that we've got a bigger roster, we'll be able to progress much further in faction wars and get those, not just get to the higher stages and get more perception gear, but also flesh out those stars and make sure that we're in contention on the leaderboards in that regard. And I also think Chronum's going to be massive. I think Chronum ultimately, along with those additional other 2 6-stars, so the 3 more 6-stars we're going to get, my aim with that is to build a 3 or 4 key Nightmare Clan Boss team and get all of the stage 20 dungeons, progress to the stage 20 dungeons, at least as much as possible. I feel like Dragon, Ice Golem, and Spider are quite accessible for the roster I have. Once I've done those more 6-stars, Finite could be a little bit more problematic, but we'll look at that after we've leveled them up and got masteries, which is going to be the plan for the week ahead. So as always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.